Gaimin Gladiators, I think this is a team that really needs to look over towards their region mates Virtus Pro, because this is a team that has Naga on the squad. They have the capability to play Fire. We looked at VP and their successes and a lot of their upsets. Sauna playing the Fire, I think it's going to be kind of key. And you have Naga that's just as good, probably even better on that Fire, if that's something they can move towards.
Alrighty, well, we'll get ready to do battle here as we jump into Lijiang Tower to kick things off. It's going to be Control Center here for our first sub-map. Hello, we're on camera. We'll get ready to see what kind of compositions they do have for us. Again, Ramatra as well as the Brigade are going to be banned away here for the first map. So curious to see what kind of adjustments we do have. For now, you see Max at least hovering here on the Junker Queen.
So I think Max will be mostly starting out for this tournament here. Very off-tank favored. Jimin might come through for a little ball at some point as well. And it's Tread that would have probably favored the Ramatra coming through on this map. Very fast roll-up from Crazy Raccoons going on top side. Gaimin Gladiators. There's Naga on the fire. Something I did actually want to see. Let's see if they can get that to work.
And Lip there on that venture getting tagged up pretty early on. Is able to go ahead and escape, so avoids getting taken down. Naga hovering around half HP, but seems like everybody for now going to be relatively okay, but he's not going to go diving in. Able to find the opening kill. FT God similarly under fire. Will falls. Lip gets a piece of the action, and that is going to be a very one-sided affair coming through here as Crazy Raccoon starting things off nicely. Get the cleanup, get the extended team kill, and we'll get the first cap.
I don't think Gaimin would have expected that Crazy Raccoon would come through with this kind of all-in composition off rep. Usually you'd see this one with the Malga, right? In the past, in Dallas, we saw Malga with Venture and Genji. Today, it's going to be Max and the Jungle Queen. So, with Malga having been nerfed a little bit, Space Station didn't do too well in the Malga. Not sure if I'm a believer in that particular hero.
Yeah.
Crazy Raccoon isn't so far, as Tread swaps over to the Queen. Gonna get him mirror.
A forward push coming through here. Crazy Raccoon, look at them just trying to hold them at the spawn door. Tread gonna be taken alone, nearly eliminated, but finding some sustainability now as Immortality Field has to be invested to try to bail out Max. Heals continue to come through, Chorong down to about half HP, but he's gonna be sustaining, and that's gonna be Shu getting first up towards that Amp Matrix. Chorong similarly beat now online, and he's gonna drop it immediately as they look to go aggressive. FT God nearly with a beat of his own, but can he pull the trigger? It looks like it's gonna be too late as Tread gets taken down. Now, Exodal gonna be eliminated as well as the cleanup can continue, and that's gonna be 40% now achieved for the side of Crazy Raccoon.
Gonna be a spawn camp here as well, just the minor one off the choke. It's gonna force Gaimin Gladiators to burn some ultimates just to get out. Level 1 Crook most likely with the Kitsune Rush. There's still other members further behind. As a reminder, Gaimin Gladiators had to swap this comp after the first fight, so they're behind in several ways. They're 2 fights down now. Fresh comp on that second fight, going to number 3. And here's the Kitsune.
Lip opening up though. They try to stave him off, so beat has to be dropped by FT God on the approach. Blade now going to be pulled here from Heesung. Just looking to carve up Tread and is able to do so. Shoot going to be traded out. Exodial able to find a singular kill here, but still not getting themselves realistically onto the point. They don't have that Junker Queen there in the front to try to lead the charge, but Naga does get the better of Heesung, now has a blade of his own. Rampage going to be denied away. Huge boop coming through. Just going to be FT God getting caught up there by the ante, but he's able to survive. Naga down to 14 HP, looking for a little bit of healing, down to 6, and the sustain comes in. Lip at the same time, able to find Exodial, but then it's traded out, but Shu on the return finds FT God. Crook taken low, just trying to keep Tread alive, trying to get that Rampage online, but the flip is still not there, and Crook is going to be taken down. Tread, Naga all falling to the wayside. Now it's a singular ult to work for Gaimin Gladiators, but they cannot get back to the point. It's 100-0 to kick things off. Crazy Raccoon coming out strong.
Crazy Raccoon just leading the way the entire way through. I mean, we're looking at the fact that the momentum was just on their side. They had the spawn camp going 2 fights to their own, including the neutral, forcing the comp swap over on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. They were just going to be behind ultimates. Tread never managed to get a rampage that entire way through. We saw the blade coming through Naga, but honestly, not to any great effect. And at every single point on this map so far, it's Crazy Raccoons having the initiation, having those first picks, having all the advantages, as you'd expect.
Well, kind of setting the tempo, setting the expectations here. Perhaps our Crazy Raccoon, Gaimin Gladiators. Well, we already knew coming into this, the onus was going to be on them to level up the performance, to be able to step up to this squad that has been just dominant throughout 2024 thus far. Crazy Raccoon, they want to continue on their warpath. As a quick TP forward swap over onto the Tracer Echo. Going to be matching on the opposite side. Just the Kiriko versus Ana is the key differences here.
The flies do come through. Again, Naga had the option of going towards the far. We were going to see a hit scan, particularly on this map. It's going to end up being the Echo versus Echo. Now, basically the same on the same sides. I did mention, of course, Kitsune Rush, Kiriko for level 1 Crook. Tread sleeping off the opening. That's Exodial on the shoot for the start.
Able to find one, but Heesung going to be taking out Naga, so DPS for a support here. Strong. likely going to be more than happy to just go ahead and get all that extra healing across to build up towards that beat here. But FD God not too far behind. Max in a pretty dire spot here. HP bar going to be hovering low. Needs some heals as Shu gets ready to return, and that should help surge forward to go ahead and get that first nano online. But for now, Gaimin Gladiators occupying the point a bit, chasing forward, looking for some kills, but still holding the point itself and looking to get the initial cap. Contest starting to come through as they continue inching forward. Shu under a little bit of fire, does manage to stay alive.
Nearly got the kill to Shu there. Exodio almost to the pulse point. Crit going down at 97%. That's going to affect the opening for Gaimin Gladiators. I mean, they have the point unlocked, but they're down members. Importantly, Shred gets demeched here as well. Raccoon should get the flip imminently.
Yeah, pulse bomb in just to go ahead and help break down that D.Va mech. They go ahead, finish him off. Baby D.Va now eliminated. Naga can't really stick around. Will end up falling. It's just going to be a minor delay here from the side of FD God as ultimately the extended team kill will come through, and it's only 15% accrued for Gaimin Gladiators.
Raccoons don't even have to burn any else for that as well, minus the pulse bomb, of course. Gaimin Gladiators, 15% lead. That'll go through very quickly as it'll be passed by Crazy Raccoons. Katsuna Rush still on board, but there's plenty of counters on the other side. Now, Crazy Raccoon can do so much against it. They can even just bail out, disengage from it entirely, counter beat versus it, and Gaimin Gladiators get across this bridge first of all. It's going to have to be the Katsuna Rush across the bridge to even get them there, which just allows Crazy Raccoons back to the point.
I mean, using that kind of in response to the nano, but now the beat's going to be there on the opposite side. FD God has his, and as he drops it, Crook is going to be taken down. He's able to find the melee hit just milliseconds before that shielding would have saved him. And Shu will get traded out a 1-for-1 in that regard. Now the dupe is going to be coming through as Naga goes for a copy, similarly to Heesung here on the Divas. So multiple Divas now in play, but Naga going to be demeched. Heesung seeking a little bit more, also offering up some protection. Dashes back around, looking to try to hound down Exodio, but can't quite find him. Lip will fall, but ultimately it's still Crazy Raccoon holding the line, holding the point, and now moving up past 50%.
Gaimin Gladiators are still kind of hanging around at the moment. They want to regroup a little quicker here. Tread had to go off the map to even regroup with his team. And no important ultimates to be able to get them into this fight. To be fair, both teams do not have support ultimates currently. The Crazy Raccoon still incumbent on that point. Exodio finds something here. Almost solo on that point for a while.
Decent damage being found, but Stain coming through. Lip just dashing back, keeping himself safe. Megapack's not there, but can rely on the healing here from the supports to try to keep him alive. Flip is back in though. Gaimin Gladiators in control for now, but Max able to hound out Exodio, finds that pick. Pulse bomb now out of the equation for the fight. He's eating quite a bit of damage. Does have that self-destruct, but with the supports now starting to fall, it might just have to be a full reset once again here for the side of Gaimin Gladiators, but they're going to be running out of time.
At least they got the flip over. If they hadn't got that flip, this would be the 99%. It'll be really tough for Gaimin Gladiators. So moving back over towards territory for that Katsuna Rush. Next fight, we do get those Katsuna Rushes coming on through. It's going to be Chorong having beat what FD God doesn't. Him dying here and Chorong and Shu living the entire way through. There's going to be a mismatch on support ultimates for what could be and probably will end up being the final fight. So they'll still need to wait for him to come back as well.
Kitsune versus Kitsune. FD God needing to try to catch up here. That sound barrier is going to be ever important. Meanwhile, Heesung similarly lapping Naga, nearly having that next dupe available.
Raccoon getting aggressive.
Yeah, he's just diving in on top of him. Heesung finds that elimination. Shu will get traded out, and that's going to be crucial. So now Crook goes ahead, opens up with the Kitsune Rush. Pulse bomb going across. Max low here on HP in the mech, but now sound barrier comes through onto the 4 remaining players. Another D.Va into the mix once again here for the side of Heesung, trying to build up towards that second self-destruct. Max going to be sending him behind the pillar, and FD God taken down. Lip with a punish. It's an absolute catastrophe. Self-destruct for Tread, looking for a little bit more here, but he's going to be broken out of the mech just as quickly as he got back into it. Crook tagged up as they seek targets. Exodio will come up with a good one there as Lip falls down, finds another one as Heesung will be eliminated, so maybe this isn't quite over yet. Max going to be taken out of the mech, and suddenly the DPS from the side of Gaimin Gladiators coming alive when they most need it.
My goodness, Exodio, the Spanish demon coming on through, saving the day. If it wasn't for that, that would be lights out, map gone. Gaimin Gladiators survived by the graces of the Tracer play. And FD God, look, I'm not going to go too hard on that because he had to use a sound barrier. He only just barely gets a sound barrier. He's got to go through it. If it lands, his team wins even harder. But he must make that play. It's just really well played by Lip to be able to see that and get FD God down before the sound barrier.
Speaking of FD God, continue singing praises as he's able to go ahead and take Heesung out of the sky. Gaimin Gladiators now pushing past 60%. Tread looking to just hold on the bridge, but right now, big advantages to the side of Crazy Raccoon as Heesung's going to be swapping over onto the Pharah.
Thought it would come through eventually. Naga's going to have to be one to pressure Heesung out. Might be something just to confuse Gaimin Gladiators a little bit. I mean, it might be a little bit difficult here as well because Tread has the D.Va. Naga now swapping, or rather duplicating over towards the Kiriko and hoping for a double Katsuna Rush here at some point. They'll have the timing for it.
Slow moving on the build up there, so dupe likely going to be lost before he can actually get the ultimate off, but let's at least offer up some additional healing in the for the time being. It's right back into the Echo form though. It's a little bit of damage. Lip wants to pop that recall nice and early, and Exodial's there to capitalize. Finds the pick off. Lip taken down. Kitsune Rush now invested here from Crook. 99-99 on both sides. This Gaimin Gladiators look to try to extend this into a third and final round. Max going to be demeched, has the self-destruct to try to create some space. Can he make it back in? There's sliver of HP remaining on that BBD. Looks like he does manage to make it happen. Not going to be taken down, but shoot again back into the respawn room, waiting to rejoin. Tread, similarly, self-destruct available for him to try to extend this even further. Heesung taken down. FD God, the beat, it goes off. It catches on to Crook, but nobody else. Two players shielding up. Chorong trying to get his own beat online. 97% would love to have that to try to save Max, to try to save Lip, but they've already fallen to the wayside. So similarly, it's just going to be a beat here for the support to try to keep things extended, to try to turn the tide to the fight. But there's so many players here from Gaimin Gladiators that they get overwhelmed. The objective is secured. Gaimin Gladiators take away a round, and that extends us to Night Market.
And the fire assault for Heesung does not work out. I mean, it doesn't really surprise Gaimin Gladiators at all. Certainly not going to put the pressure on enough when you have Tread on the Diva, Naga still on the Echo. But importantly, this time, you have a situation where Crook has a Kitsune Rush, no support ultimates, no real ultimates online for Crazy Raccoons at all. And a massive round victory, again, saved by the fact that in the critical fight where FD God gets Ajaxed by Lept, Exodial is able to save it with the Tracer, and then even in subsequent fights, the Tracer, I don't want to say different, but surely, I mean, Exodial's prowess so far on this map has to be talked about.
No, for sure. Very much making a name for himself right here. Incredible performance to start things off now. Shred going to be coming out the gate here with the Diva. Max, however, pivoting over to the Zarya, which can have that advantageous fight as far as the tank battle is concerned.
Okay, we did actually see Max on the Zarya yesterday. I'm wondering if that was going to be a real pick or not. One other Zarya, I believe, was also played by Bleed. Player jumped on that. Lip straight away on FD God. That's the 5v4 before the point unlocks.
I was wondering if we were going to be seeing the cast coming through, and yep, Lip able to find that opening kill. Gets a nice headshot there on Crook to nearly take him out, but he is successfully able to pull back over in towards the dropship. But now, big pip for Gaimin Gladiators. Exodial going to be matching on the cast. Naga deciding what he wants to do. Lands on Venture in the end, but Tread is coming out with the Malga.
Nearly an all-in composition here. Exodial would have to go over towards something like a Genji to really lean into it, but the cast will be fine here as well. Just a counter shot potentially on towards the Zarya. I mean, Malga versus Zarya, it'll be an interesting matchup. I don't think the Zarya can really keep up. Not entirely sure if Zarya is particularly that great on this match. Max might actually want to go back over towards the Diva.
Oh, well, Exodial going to be taken down. His shoe is able to find that kill. Point already captured for Crazy Raccoon, taking up to 25. Energy, bit of a slow build here for the side of Max, so isn't that big critical threat that you have to be overly concerned about as the Immortality Field comes through, and Lip takes quite a bit of damage. Is able to pull back safely over towards the point for the time being. Now popping the Deadeye, looking for a target. Burrow coming through, Naga just looking to escape. Everybody else just having to play back, deny that line of sight, wait out the ult.
Now time to just flip through the ultimate shoe next, then Chorong. As Crook's Kitsune Rush is not going to give Gaimin Gladiators what they're looking for. And seeing if they can really push the Zarya out with this Malga as well. Exodial nearly got on that Deadeye. His damage is decent.
They pushed him away. Amatrix does come through. That's going to be the beat dropped here by both of these Lucios. Full shielding him across here on the side of Crazy Raccoon, and he's unable to collect the kill. As Exodial will get taken down now. The floodgates have opened up, and that's going to lead to a damn near team kill. And there it is, just about. As Crazy Raccoon looking to run away with Night Market.
I mean, this is getting dangerous for Gaimin Gladiators now. They're so far behind. They've used ultimates. They haven't been able to get any value. No cage online for Tread just yet as well. They shouldn't really be getting out-poked here. They need to be able to actually get these full engages in, have the all-in strategy that they've been looking for with this comp, and that's why you run the Venture with the Malga.
To try to get that ultimate online here for this Venture. A little bit more oomph behind the push.
Might be hard to survive against the Grab Assault because all they really have is the Suzu versus that. It's that plus the Cardiac Arrest, I guess.
Well, grab here on the corner, and Exodial popping the Deadeyes, instantly going to be dealt with. Now the Pulse Bomb coming through with the Big Bang combo, and Crook gets annihilated. Not going to be able to see that Kitsune Rush here. As, yeah, I mean, we can hear Naga popping the ult, but everybody else is falling to the wayside. The Deadeye is there to protect the point. A solid effort from Gaimin Gladiators to be able to extend this to 3, but Crazy Raccoon take the final round of Night Market 100-0.
We just start swapping compositions, move away from the Diva mirror onto the dive, and suddenly things look a lot worse for Gaimin Gladiators. I think it looked much better with Exodial on the Tracer there, and it's crazy because he's normally known and famous for those hard hit scans, but it just didn't look like he had, you know, the ability, maybe didn't have the space to play through. They just didn't have the ability to sort of match the firepower on Crazy Raccoons. Lip off rip with opening kills onto FD God, giving the 5v4s and containing Gaimin Gladiators mostly towards the spawn, and none of the ultimates from Gaimin Gladiators really having that much effect at all. I don't think Tread actually even got a cage at the end.
No, couldn't make it happen there in the end. I mean, the late adjustments just kind of not really setting them up for success. I mean, it was some necessary pivots, but it never really came to full fruition. Crazy Raccoon, once they got ahead, there was no catching up there for the side of Gaimin Gladiators.
Well, I do think the win on Garden rather is really important because that does show that Gaimin Gladiators have the capability to compete. You know, we're looking at a bunch of these EU teams that went to boot camp in Korea, and you know, it's basically all European teams minus Ant. So Gaimin Gladiators with their VP, with their, you've seen the level up here. They took a map of a Toronto Ultra yesterday. They took a round in the opening map versus Crazy Raccoon today. Can they actually push that further and get a map where slowly we're discovering what are the winning matchups for Gaimin Gladiators, where can they actually get these wins, and what are they losing on?
Well, that's the first map done and dusted. Of course, the pick is going to be there for Gaimin Gladiators, so curious to see where they want to take us to try to find the most success they possibly can get. But for now, we'll pass it down to the analyst desk to break down the action from Lijiang Tower.
Thank you very much, guys. Great to be able to hear both of y'all on the call after the long night that we had last night. Crazy Raccoon just dominant here, but a surprise by Gaimin Gladiators to kick off the first map.
Yeah, I mean, they came in strong and they were at least able to make it competitive. That's what you like to see versus just, 99-99. But man, the one thing you see here coming in from Crazy Raccoon, they have the biggest mark of a good team, which is that their movement is ridiculous. Even when they lose a player early in fights, they're able to back off, re-engage, and not actually lose the fight. Most teams in Overwatch, you get an early pick against them, they fold. Crazy Raccoon, it's not over until they're all on the floor.
They all know they can trade 1v2 if they have to. Literally every person on that team feels they could probably 1v5 if they had to. What I really kind of was concerned about towards the end is watching GG make the composition switch towards the Maga Adventure, which is a really interesting comp because it gets really aggressive. It's really in your face. It's supposed to do the overrun and you stomp in and then you use the passive abilities of both of them together and you're just this big ball of damage. I would have liked to see maybe roll a Genji in there too and maybe force the fight to happen on the point. The problem is they're getting caught out in the open, and then there's nothing to stop the grab. And I don't remember the last time I saw a really good grab pulse bomb combo. Brings me back to the good old days, but a questionable composition in the last 30 seconds of the fight especially didn't work out for me.
Yeah, and I mean, look, while we're talking about compositions, the other thing I got to highlight here, going all the way back to Control Center, is that the level of comfort in Shu versus Crook, where Shu was on the BAF and Crook was on the Kiriko. Shu was just sitting back, landing lots of damage, very comfortable, good immortality fields, and Crook was running for his life all series long. So, I know, Kiriko can work, but you look at how it played out here, and the BAF just worked out so much better for Crazy Raccoon and the comps.
Yeah, but honestly, here on point 2, it was very, very surprising because we picked up our chairs. We're like, all right, 2-0 done and dusted, but it was a great effort there by Exodio and the rest of the DPS to get that round there. You're thinking, all right, maybe we got a chance, maybe we got something to do here. Not the case at all. It was 100-0 on the final map here, and it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was a great point though by Avril, because that is going to give them confidence moving forward that they were able to hang with them. If all of the other 2 stages were like Night Market, it becomes a different kind of mentality going in. But being able to pull off that second stage, especially because that was just, it was dirty. It just, everything broke down. So everyone's just having to do individual performances. FD God gets the barrier late. People are coming in. Exodio gets the tracer kill. So they were able to hang. And like you said, this one's not over. And that's even though it's a lost map, it's not one of those like, oh, we should just pack it up. It's like, let's go. We're ready.
Yeah, and this is what you want from a team that has the puncher's chance, as you like to say, right? Maybe some knockout power, but it's, yes, we might have gotten bodied on Control Center and Night Market, but in the other one, we still got ourselves a tie, and this is where you got to be careful of upset power that we've seen so far throughout the tournament here as we take a look at some of the maps that we have left.
Yeah, and when you look at the maps we have left, the one thing you gotta just remind yourself as we watch this tournament here is that this is gonna be one of the harder tournaments to have nothing but 3 Overwatch overall, unless there's a huge team gap, because the team that loses has such a huge advantage where you get to choose what game mode you're going to next. You get to choose the map that you're going to next, and then on top of it, you get first hero ban. You get to stack the deck in your favor to give you the best chance of keeping the series competitive.
I was just trying to figure out like what is going to be the weakness maybe, and like even that's a strong term for Crazy Raccoon. There's not really a hole in any of the tank line because you still have the Winston on the bench and the Ball on the bench. Maybe you go to a map that forces Choron into a double flex situation, because we know Shu is a god tier flex. Chorong is a great Lucio, but what's he have outside that Lucio? But then the question becomes, what does FD God have outside that Lucio? So it's really hard to find a hole in their game and try to exploit it, but we'll see what they got.
Yeah, and that's what the unique thing about the ban system has been. So far, most of the priority bans have gone at the support role, then at tank. DPS rarely gets touched. I mean, I feel like we saw a Widowmaker getting banned away once. Yeah, but other than that, it's been focused down there. So really, the focus on your support line has been key for all these teams.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about the Overwatch hero roster, it makes perfect sense, right? You have by far more DPS heroes than any role in the game, which means that banning a DPS hero usually isn't having the same impact in terms of available play styles as banning a tank or support, in which case there's less heroes and thus less ways to play those specific play styles.
All right, well, let's see how things shake up here on map number 2 as we head back on over to the Qiddiya Arena to see how it shakes all off.
Alrighty, well, taking a look here. It's been a fairly popular one already yesterday, and it looks like it's going to continue here now. Shambali Monastery going to be selected from the side of Gaimin Gladiators for our second map, so we move over in towards Escort. Let's see what the bans will look like starting here. It's going to be that Ana taken out.
And this is exactly what we saw yesterday. Gaimin Gladiators, they lose map 1 to Toronto Ultra. They lose map 1 here to Crazy Raccoons. Instantly, they go towards Shambali Monastery. That is their map choice. And it's exact same ban reflected as well. Take away the Ana. Why the Ana? They are targeting teams that are going to be good at the dive. Toronto Ultra, rather, they're a kind of dive-ish team. Almost in a similar way to Crazy Raccoons, just with the singular tank on someone rather than the 2 tanks of Crazy Raccoons. The Venture ban now being followed by Crazy Raccoons. Okay, removing the capability for Gaimin Gladiators to play the Venture Malgan all-in comp, which is something they did also play on Shambali Monastery yesterday versus Toronto Ultra. So we're kind of repeating history just here a little bit, but removing some of the strength pieces away from Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah, also got to see, you know, that brief little glimpse at the very end of Lijiang Tower. Not that it was able to deliver the victory for them, but saw that they do like to lean into those too. So curious to see, is Tread still going to be looking to work with that Malga, or does this force a full pivot from the side of Gaimin Gladiators?
And it does seem so far that Gaimin Gladiators' plan in this particular series has been to remove some of these dive-based supports. We saw the Brig being removed earlier on map 1 and now, so the quintessential dive supports are gone off the top. And it is, you know, preferable to target towards the supports. I wonder what's going to come next. Maybe for the next maps, Gaimin Gladiators will look towards the Karika, but for now, they can be safe in knowing that we're basically going to be looking towards something like a Sigma mirror, something like an off-tank mirror. Again, to my knowledge, Max is still in. It is Shambali Monastery. It is preferable to play off-tank.
Yep, Max is sticking through here. No roster swaps coming through whatsoever. So that means we can get straight back here into the action for map number 2. Crazy Raccoon with a victory here. We'll move up to match point. Let's see, though, if Gaimin Gladiators on their pick can try to get the upset. As for now, let's see, Crazy going to be starting here on this defense. Max on the Sigma. It looks like it's going to be Chorong just picking up this Alari Shu, still there with the Baptiste.
Yep.
We have Lip moving over onto the Ashe as Heesung taking to the skies once again with the Pharah.
I think the Tread Ram coming through is going to be really important. So that was banned away by Crazy Raccoons on the prior map. So you can see that Crazy Raccoons have done their homework. They want to remove away the capability to play these ground tanks, the ground style that Gaimin Gladiators is famous for. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Naga looks over towards the Pharah at some point. I mean, Heesung's already locked that in. Sauna's proven once more that Pharah is viable. Naga likes that hero a lot, but he's going to go towards the Echo for now.
Echo try to control the skies once more. As for now, it's going to be that Diva there from Tread. Worked decently well, as we had seen over on Gardens, to try to mitigate the damage, mitigate that output here from the side of Heesung, but as he's going to play in towards Max on the Sigma, we'll have to just wait and see. For now, Naga going to be taking low, tucks back down, grabs that mini pack, tries to stay alive, and Lip finds a headshot and takes that Echo right out of the skies.
I mean, it's just the full poke composition. We saw this yesterday as well. It's the Sigma, it's a double flex support, Pharah and the Ashe at the same time. And you have probably the best Ashe player here, probably the best hit scan player here in Lip, and he's saying one of the top flex DPSs. Pharah shouldn't be that difficult for this guy to play as well. So heavy damage down range, and it's good that at least Tread is going to be on that Diva to mitigate some of that, because we saw teams yesterday that didn't play the Diva here, and it definitely looked like a struggle.
Exodio going to be dealt with nice and early here as Heesung able to find that opening kill, just trying to hit some of these mid-air rockets across over on towards Naga. Of course, a little bit more of an elusive target in that Echo does make it a little bit troublesome. It's going to be the cleanup on the Immortality field, but as Naga is trying to get rid of it, Heesung's able to collect that elimination. Tread now going to be knocked into the mech, dealt with very swiftly here by Lip as the hold continues for Crazy Raccoon.
There's so many targets to try and chase down here. I mean, you got the support line, which are kind of vulnerable, but at the same time, as the DPS that are the threats, you need to be able to get on top of Lip somehow. He's doing the most damage so far. I mean, I say that as Heesung actually has more ult charge, but it just seems like Lip's impact, at least the kill feed, getting those final blows, that's what's causing problems with Gaimin Gladiators. At least, though, Crook is going to have a Kachuna rush.
He does have that ready to roll, but it's going to be that Amateurs on the opposite side that maybe just try to counteract, but for now they're just running at them, backpedaling coming through here from the side of CR. Just giving up some space. The cart still not being brought forward here. This is just going to be fairly successful disengage. They wait out the ult, now they can look to reaggress. Stun going across it from the accretion. Tread going to be knocked down onto the low ground. Just popping that D-Matrix, trying to keep everybody protected as the cart now gets brought forward.
Should be coming through. You can see the entire squad basically of Crazy Raccoon on that window. Tread is marking it for now. Hitting a lot of rocks, to be honest. The Shu wants to be able to pop this window through. Payload needs to keep moving. They're very slow from that side of Gaimin Gladiators to just move that along.
It's just stuck there right now.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pressure Payload here for Gaimin Gladiators. It's basically free for now, outside of Heesang shooting it.
Still just holding onto the Sand Matrix, maybe waiting for a slightly longer sightline. This corner right here going to be a good one for Shu to go ahead and get the setup, and Lip can play off the back of it. The bomb now ready. Barrage similarly in the back pocket here for Heesung, but of course wants to try to get the break on that D.Va mech. And self-destruct is now available. Tread down to about half. Another accretion connecting there onto the D.Va inside room. Barrage comes through, and that's going to be Heesung cleaning up too, as Naga and Exodial both end up falling. Self-destruct only able to find the Immortality field, but Tread doesn't make it back into the mech safely. That FD God down low on HP. Trying to sustain, has the sound barrier, but just not an opportune time to try to use it.
4 ultimates online for Crazy Raccoon now. I mean, they're still holding on to the fact they can use the window anytime. They're waiting for Gaimin Gladiators to aggress. 1 minute left remaining. The payload's not anywhere near where it needs to, because even if Crazy Raccoons lose this fight, they have one more to retake on. It's difficult now as Gaimin Gladiators just have less tools, still have to push uphill. And at any point, look, if you want a tempo beat, you want a Kachuna rush again, Crazy Raccoons still have space to back out.
Just crazy to see how much they can just, sit back, only commit the barrage into the last fight. I mean, Shu has had this Amagic for the longest time, but just has not felt the need to use it whatsoever.
Brook has to go first. It's up to Gaimin. They have to go.
Looking to go ahead and start pushing the pace now, as that's going to be Captive Sun set up from Chorong. Bob as well, similarly going to be invested by Lip, and sat right onto the card. Sound barrier from FD God to try to keep everybody shielded up, but he himself is going to be taking an immense amount of damage. So far, just going to be the Bob cleaned up, but as the Immortality field falls, so too shall Shu. As the break on the dupe is in, but Lip will end up getting picked off. He's not able to find one, but it's just going to be the support, so still full damage. The tank available on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. They continue to fight back. Exodial with the recall, keeping himself safe, but now Crook going to be taken down, but Chorong and Max have both fallen. Cart can advance forward as they look for that 2.5 minute bump up, and it seems like Gaimin Gladiators not going to be taken down quite just yet. Heesung going to fall. Return comes in, Amp Matrix now invested as Shu tries to clutch up. Break there onto the D.Va mech. Naga going to be swapping over onto the Genji, trying to get back a little bit faster as Exodial now has a pulse bomb built up. But Crazy Raccoon, they've had enough time. The players, they're getting corralled in. They're gaining control. Stick coming through with the Immortality field. Invested. Shu staying alive, and somehow, some way, they manage to clutch it up, and they get the full hold.
I mean, it's not as exciting as we saw it previously, but I'm going to reference the Purple Baptiste moment. Every Chengdu fan knows exactly what I'm talking about here. Shu comes in, still has the Amp Matrix available. Didn't get to use it on the previous life. And honestly, credit to FD God for getting the sound barrier down, because that really saves them. You can see the pressure coming through as well. Naga on top of Shu. Shu having backed out all the way, but we stay alive long enough on the Crazy Raccoon side that Shu gets to come back, play basically the max range window through, and it will give enough space for the rest of the respawners on CR to come in and get the successful retake. Gaimin Gladiators probably feel a little bit robbed of that situation, because they played it as well as they possibly could have, removed most of the threats, dodged out the fluxes, but just couldn't bear the brunt of that retake.
And there's some extra spice on top of this, because before we had gotten into the game, there's a little bit of back and forth in all chat between the players. And, Tread having some words for Shu, saying, I'm coming for you, you're my primary target, basically. And Shu said, yeah, go ahead, come for me. Come at me, see what you can do. Because I'm just going to shut you down. Tread said, good luck, have fun to everyone other than Shu, but I think Shu's the one who's having the most fun right now.
I just think the biggest problem is, before the last fight, even though it was probably slightly Gaimin Gladiators favored once the fight actually came through, when you look at the pre-fight, things weren't so great. Mostly ultimates favoring Crazy Raccoons. They had something like 4 ultimates ahead. Gaimin Gladiators had far less than that. They had to be the ones in the first initiation as well, which means Crazy Raccoons can respond, can still back out, can still play the high ground. But it's the first 3 minutes, man, that were just so rough for Gaimin Gladiators.
Yeah. Slow to get that ball rolling.
And now, as we see Max go back towards Zarya, I mean, okay, Zarya into D.Va, 3 decent matchups, so Crazy Raccoons have the capability of the attacker side advantage, which they get to pick the counter comp.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we saw over at Lijiang Tower. They came out in that final round. It was a Zarya force threat off the D.Va, but now he doesn't really have time to swap. He has to be all in on this pick. Shifts his way back over here onto the high ground, but for now, Crazy Raccoon getting a very fast and hot start here with this push coming in. Bubbles out, Max this time able to very easily build up that energy, and that means that Tread has to be careful. Naga gonna be taking down his lip, finds a headshot, FD God taken down as well. He's not getting a piece of the action. His shoe gonna be bailed out. Tread just knocked out of that mech as Max, the right clicks, are just ripping them asunder. And this map is basically over.
Yeah, just a couple bubbles. He's already up to 80 plus on top of the energy, and then you just have Lip and Heesang ripping on through. Final fight here. Is there going to be a recontest? The players need to get there basically right now. If they don't touch, that would be very sad. So, here we go.
Be Exodio leading it, but has to recall. A little bit more space gained. 1.17 meters now is Tread. Tries to hold the line here, tries to lock this cart in place, but FD God gonna be taken down as Heesang finds him once more. Looks for a little bit more as Exodio taken down to a sliver of HP and now finished off. Heesang with the double kill. Pulse bomb not gonna connect, but it doesn't matter. Everything's falling to the wayside. As there you have it, the cleanup comes through. Full hold into the breezy push. Crazy Raccoon now find themselves up to match point.
The composition was just so clean on that second, on their attacking side. I mean, they have the attacker side advantage. They know they only need to push mostly up the hill on top of A. They don't even have to really cap A. So much of this just came down to the fact that Gaimin Gladiators on their own attack just couldn't get enough done to get the cap. I mean, they should have been up that far on the ramp, probably within the first 2 minutes. It took them like 3+ minutes into the OT to actually get that far. And they actually had the capability of winning, but couldn't run the retake coming on through. But the attacking side of Crazy Raccoon was just so strong. The Zarya pick and the D.Va ended up being fantastic. And they just brawled their way through the D.Va dive that Gaimin Gladiators couldn't pilot well enough. Tempo, in terms of ultimates, all on the side of Crazy Raccoons. Chorong, as soon as he gets a sound barrier, instant tempo beat. First ultimate online for Gaimin Gladiators is going to be level 1 Crook, but he didn't get it in time.
Wow, a fantastic start here from the side of Crazy Raccoon. One map away from closing out this series and clinching their spot in the playoffs. And yeah, I mean, let's be frank, is this anything other than what we kind of anticipated? Not really.
Yeah, I think it was impressive that we saw the round win coming through from Gaimin Gladiators on Lijiang, but now as we move forward in the series, that is very convincing Shambali, and it was, you know, the map choice coming through from Gaimin Gladiators as well. So 2 maps down and dusted. The bans, I don't think have been that impactful on the side of Crazy Raccoons either. Like, they got rid of Ana for this one, that's fine. Max will stay in. They'll play more of a brawly style. They can play the Sigma, they can play the D.Va, they can play the Zarya here as well. Doesn't require an Ana, so doesn't really do too much to stop Crazy Raccoons.
Yeah, I mean, they were more than happy to just say, like, okay, we'll just play Alari, we'll just play Baptiste. Shu is coded on pretty much anything that you could put him on when it comes down to flex support, so he was still perfectly comfortable, and that BAP, the clutch, it was gorgeous to see from the side of Crazy Raccoon. So a dominant beginning here. 2-0 up at the moment for the side of Crazy Raccoon. And the upside, Gaimin Gladiators, you get another shot. You get that opportunity to have another map pick come in to try to get yourself that win. The downside is you have to pull off a reverse sweep. And even if you can take that next step, all the other map picks are going to be in the hands of Crazy Raccoon. So it's going to be a very rocky road from here on out for them to try to make this happen.
It's difficult for sure. I mean, there's they've already banned out 2 supports. I mean, we talked about the Krika before. But let's turn it over to the Dets to see what they have to say about all this.
Thank you very much, guys, as that was a pretty dominant performance as expected. Again, group stage matches, sometimes they kind of go like this where, you know, it's one team, they're really good, and Crazy Raccoon, reigning champs from the major, and they're proving it here.
Yeah, and I mean, also they're proving, I think, with superior team compositions, too. You look at what happened on that attack coming in from Gladiators. They put Zodiel in nearly mission impossible, where what had to happen here is Tracer. So if you look at it, the Echo would not be able to do anything unless the Ashe is pressured, because it'd just be the Ashe and Pharah just hitting the Echo. So you go to your Tracer and go, yeah, you need to create a lot of disruption. Well, that's really hard, especially with the way Shu is playing on the defense. And just, even when you did get Tracer pressure, an Immortality Field was there. It just...
Right here, it was this one. Yeah, I think he dropped it like right there, and it was just such a great proof of what you were talking about. Immortality Field has been huge by Shu.
It felt that there were so many times, tempo-wise, that they just weren't all ready to go when they needed to be ready to go. Where Beat would come up for FD God and they're looking to turn the corner, but then the D.Va gets demacked. The Echo's somewhere else. The Tracer's not ready to go in with everybody else. And it feels like they're just a little spread out, so you're not getting value out of the ultimates. That allows time for Crazy Raccoon to catch up a little bit, get their ultimates ready to go. Not that they really ever needed it, and then find their way in. So they just never were able to coordinate the dive. I think going forward, I think the casters are right. The bans haven't been super effective. Maybe don't focus on trying to take something away from Crazy Raccoon, because that's almost impossible to do with the versatility this team has. Focus on what is the best comp that we can run that might give them trouble. I think maybe go back to Amaga and Venture just to, because it's a weird comp to deal with for a lot of teams, and you might have some success there.
Yeah, and man, it is tough, right? Because I think the problem that they're running up against right now too is just that in a way in Overwatch 2, you're still hoping to like win some man-to-man matchups, and you look at the DPS end, you look at the support end, mechanically they're just so good that it's like, where do you get your opening? And then when they do get their opening, Crazy Raccoon, they don't lose easily. They just back off, keep as many people alive, and come back and win fights that frankly they have no business winning.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Achilles called it when they when Gaimin Gladiators won that fight, about to get the first point. All of a sudden, just a little touch there, all of a sudden, everyone from the side of Crazy Raccoon are back. They win the fight. They reset the ults, and that was it. No first point, stopping the cap, and then, yeah, as you guys said, just kind of ran through it pretty quickly.
I mean, we were sitting there watching it, and they like, oh, it's about to get the point, and I'm just like kind of walking away. I'm like, nah, D.Va's going to get demacked. Like, it was almost, you could see it was about to happen. And I mean, here are the maps left. I don't know where you end up going here for this team, but I do think this is a point where you can't really take anything away from Crazy Raccoon, because you try to go to a dive map, you're just going to run into their bench players coming in. There's really no holes in this team. You have to see, like, what was our best comp yesterday, what worked best for us, and what is the easiest. Easy is a weird term in Overwatch, but what's the most foolproof? And I think that's Maga, Venture, get your Lucio speed in, everyone go, and then let's see who comes out of the cloud of dust.
Yeah, so that's mostly been Flashpoint. It feels like it's been Flashpoint where the upsets have been coming from. You just heard what Hex just built for you there. Where do you go here, ZP, if you're looking for a map in your Gaimin Gladiators?
I think at this point, you go to what you feel most comfortable on. What have you historically been good at? Get something you feel comfortable on, win one map, get some momentum, go from there.
All right, well, again, we'll see what happens here. What I've loved so far is that Max has just been rifling through all the different types of tanks, pulling out the Bubble Babe with the Zarya and just being like, hey, look, I know a lot of people don't run that, but I can do that too. And for Crazy Raccoon that have those championship aspirations, the $400,000, the trophy in the name, putting the keys inside, they have to show these different type of looks so that those top teams also have to worry about other looks here.
But in the OWCS Asia Finals, it was Junbin who was playing tank for this team, and he came in with a ball play that they weren't expecting, so it's not like you can even go against a different style of a tank and take Max out, because Max has shown that he'll play a D.Va. Even the Zarya, which was kind of questionable, was strange. There's the map pick.
Push. We actually didn't see a whole lot of push yesterday,
no.
At least in the games we covered.
Yeah, it felt like if it ended in 4, push was the one that was the odd one out here. What do you make of this?
Well, I think on that, it's just the game mode that it's a little bit tough, because I think teams on both ends don't necessarily like going there all that much, because one bad team fight is all it takes for things to just go really, really bad, and recovering is tough. So if you're a good, consistent team, why leave yourself up to that,
Yeah, and we've seen this a lot with teams that go down 2-0. They're like, okay, what has been the biggest problem for us? I know that we wanted to wait and see if we had an answer for it around it. No, we'll get rid of the BAP. So Shoes, Immortality Field's not going to be here.
There's the Roadhog ban coming in. This is we don't care what you play. It doesn't matter. We're banning Hog, though. Just think about it.
They did ban it yesterday as well. It does feel like a little bit of a flex, as most teams haven't been running Roadhog outside from, I guess, Crazy Raccoon at the Dallas Major.
But I do think banning the BAP is important, because Shu has just been destroying them on the BAP. I mean, Shu's play, really good BAP play times isn't even that flashy. But you deep dive into it. You're seeing the BAP get kills confirmed. You're seeing the BAP get several good Immortality Field plays off every single time. And there's nothing that kills morale more of your DPS line than losing a great pick because Immortality Field got dropped at the right time.
Yep, still waiting to see confirmation for the substitutes, but generally imagine that, it's been business as usual here for Crazy Raccoon. Gaimin Gladiators still looking to get themselves one more map win and just get something going. There's Tread having a little conversation about it. You saw his face in the cams being like, dang, man, every single thing when I'm on this D.Va, can't be able to find anything, but going to try to bounce back on in as we are ready to get ourselves into map number 3. To get us into it, let's send it on over to our casters, Achilles and Avram.
Alrighty, thank you very much. Well, a bit of a different look now as we go into what could very well be the final map of this opening series of Day 2. As we go ahead and get ready to jump into the action, see whether or not Gaimin Gladiators are going to be able to turn their fate around.
A second time we'll be seeing Runasapi play the professional level here. Yesterday it was Fnatic versus Nightmare in an upset win where Nightmare actually took that one away from Fnatic in a 3-2. And that was mostly a Winston dive mirror. Here we have off-tank players and, well, predominantly talking about Max here. I don't think we're really going to see the Winstons. What we probably are likely to see is a little bit of that D.Va matchup coming on through instead. So, yeah, Runasapi is brand new, so you'll have to really figure out what teams like to do here and how they want to play it.
Yeah, curious to see what the adaptation is going to be looking like for the squads and what they can bring to the fold, what they can impress us with jumping into this map. That's going to be one of the first looks that I get at it as well, especially, as far as casting it is concerned. Going to be a first time, so bear with us as we get ready to jump into this.
I think the bat ban coming through from the GG side is super important, not just because of Shu playing the bat, but it removes the capability mostly from Crazy Raccoons of playing that brawl style. You looked at the Zarya, you looked at the fact that it's going to be Lucio and Bap together. If you want to take away the Zarya for Max, if it is becoming a bit of a problem, one way you have a little bit like a 2-in-1 there is you remove the Bap, which removes the capability of playing the Zarya brawl, but at the same time, take it away from Shu. So now if you want to force a D.Va matchup, that's probably going to be the best way. The Roadhog ban is really interesting. I don't really think that Gaimin Gladiators were going to go towards a Roadhog anyway, and pretty sure CR were second banned, so it's a it's a strange one. They actually banned it versus Rock yesterday, which I also didn't think made a lot of sense, but if you're first banned Roadhog, maybe you're trying to protect the tank. Your second banned Roadhog, that's actually targeted, which is strange. I don't, again, think Tread was going to go there.
All right, well, curious to see what they are going to have prepared for us here. So we just refire the lobby real quick, but yeah, Hog out Bap as well. So let's see what the teams do have under their sleeves, and here's to see as well what the adaptation is going to look like on Crazy Raccoon, because we saw that Ana attempt trying to get rid of that on Shambali Monastery, trying to break things down a little bit on the side of Crazy Raccoon. They didn't seem too flustered about it whatsoever.
If you haven't seen this map before, especially the professional level, I mean, it's a lot of uphill and downhill, kind of similar layout in terms of the flow of the map to New Queen Street. That's on purpose and intended, by the way, with lots of movement in the flanks between the buildings as well. But we're going to expecting the teams to come through on the top side of the map, so not where the water wheel is, but where the 3 health packs are. That's right, there's 3 health packs on that upper end, and that's where all the teams are going to roll out.
Well, looks like we might just have mirrored compositions, and we do as the
bottom end is the top end. If you look at the other way around, that would be the top end. Either way, the high level of the map, where the high ground is, so we're there.
This right here. We can see the stairs, we can see the clash getting ready to come through as Lip leading the charge. D.Va v D.Va action here. Shudong eating a little bit of damage early on.
And this was the matchup that Gaimin Gladiators had over Crazy Raccoons on Lijiang Tower on that Gardens map. So this is exactly what they need if they want to force a matchup that they have the capability to win.
Let's see him getting surrounded a little bit. Heesung trying to go for a little bit of a pincer maneuver, but ultimately is going to have to back away. Tread receiving the healing, keeping him topped up. Sticky Bomb's not quite connecting there on FD God, just finding a little bit of splash damage. Beam across though, and Tread going to be taken out of the mech, but Exodio able to go ahead and pursue forward. Does find Heesung, but it's going to be a trade up now as Lip finds Naga, but now similarly Shu going to be taken down. The baby D.Va actually coming up with that kill there for Tread. And still the backpedaling having to come in as 2 players are going to be lost, and Bot can now maybe start getting pushed from the side of Crazy Raccoon.
Ultimate starting to come online here, but again, yeah, just losing players one by one for Gaimin Gladiators. At least they're going to get a little bit of a trade here. It's Max in charge, though. Exodio gets a pulse ball on Lip, just exerting a little bit of dominance. It won't really help Gaimin Gladiators in this particular time. I mean, it's a little bit cute, but actually probably just want to save that ultimate for the next fight instead, because it's going to be pushed from CR no matter what Gaimin Gladiators do with those little numbers.
All right, well, push slowly getting started here. As Exodio just going to be dashing forward, gets a little intercept, so overall only 20-ish meters going to be accrued so far here from the side of Crazy Raccoon.
It's really fast recontest. I mean, you see the flanks through the buildings right there. It's not like New Queen Street where I think it's actually kind of hard to flank through, but here it's easy, and Max follows FD God through. He would like to have used that sound barrier, not going to be the case.
Yeah, well, they do get rid of Chorong, so we'll have theirs for the recontest, but this is ultimately going to be more distance being accrued here for the side of Crazy Raccoons to get closer and closer to that opening checkpoint as well as those forward spawns. So Gaimin Gladiators, are they going to be able to intercept this one? Starting to work their way forward, but so too is Lib. That pulse bomb still in his back pocket, going to be seeking target. Dupe online, not going for the pop now, going to be shielded up here as the sound barrier comes through from FD God. They look for some kills, but HP bar is falling low on the side of Gaimin Gladiators as FD God tries to stay alive, but it's going to be Chorong and Shoot both getting taken down. Self-destruct up over the top from Naga, not going to be able to find much of anything there on the Dupe, but still in the fight here. 5 members strong as Gaimin Gladiators. They push back and gain control of the bot.
FD God has that sound barrier. He didn't get to use it last time, as noted, but he'll have it to counter the Katsuna rush from Shoot. So double Katsuna on both sides with the extra sound barrier from FD God, because Strong used a tempo last time. They'll be able to save the point, prevent the checkpoint from coming on through, but they're still behind 0 to 46. They're now getting their own meter increments as Crazy Raccoons, as expected, like what we saw from Gaimin Gladiators, should be able to recontest very fast.
Well, for now, just the self-destructs available on either side, but Exodial nearly with another pulse bomb lapping Lib after he got that bit of a tracer depth early on here in the map. Now has that ready to go. We'll see if he can seek another key target. As right now on the hunt, dashing forward, looking, but Heesung's already going to be taken out as Crook able to find the headshot. Eliminates that Echo, and space now opened up. Gaimin Gladiators looking to take the lead.
The Crazy Raccoons know that they have enough time just to get Heesang back in. The cap isn't quite there. They'll happily let the flip go through if required, but they can't allow the cap to go through. Heesang is back now. They have just about got that beat online. Chorong's going to temper that straight away.
Yep, they push their way forward. They intercepted just 2 meters shy of the lead being gained here. Now the bot being ushered away. Gaimin Gladiators not quite able to confirm that. Crazy Raccoon certainly making them fight tooth and nail to try to get the advantage.
Played aggressively. If Gaimin played aggressively, Chorong would have beat it, but now they can wait. Now Crazy Raccoon's like, we slowed the game down. We can just chill here, put a little bit more damage and see what Gaimin Gladiators want to do. We actually still have the lead as well, so they're chilling out.
A pulse bomb out from Lib, unable to find a target. That one ends up going wide. Exodial still holding on to his own. For now, a bit of a stalemate between the two squads. They just keep the bot locked here on this ramp. Trying to see who's going to make the first move, who's going to pull the trigger. But this does allow for Shoot to just go ahead and build up, get closer and closer to that next ultimate.
Exactly. They're happy to wait. They're happy to allow their supports to get these ultimates. FD God's nearly there as well, so it should be double supports used here in this fight.
Okay, well, Shoot now having his online. Consider rush out first, but it's going to be Chorong with the beat on the opposite side to pull the trigger. As Naga goes in for the dupe, once again copying the enemy Diva. Feed online now for FD God, drops that through. Shu has his own Kitsune rush out as we just continue to trade back and forth here on the support ultimates, and so far, kills not found. Self-destruct going to be invested here from Naga, pulse bomb into the back, and Zodio able to find one as Heesung will fall. Max his own self-destruct sent out, but elimination not going to be found. Can make it safe back into the back, and for now, the bot's still going to be locked in place. Moving forward here a little bit, but Naga going to be taken down, and that's going to be a crucial opening, but FD God fires back in kind, finding Shu, a DPS now for a support. Gaimin Gladiators still not quite able to get this bot going over towards the checkpoint. The contest is still there, and Max is still healthy.
And Max should have gone down by now as well, because they were really aggressive on Max, but Tread's going to be their one DMech. He still has a remake available that allows him to play super aggressively. Surprising that Gaimin Gladiators haven't won this yet, because they've been ahead. They had the latest sound barrier. FD God managed to get that one off. He's saying respawns now, has the duplicate available, has now the duplicated Kitsune Rush, and that should push them over the edge.
Only gets it for a couple seconds though, but it does open up space. It does force Gaimin Gladiators to have to pull back. Lip in the meantime, throughout the course of this extended team fight, has built up that next pulse bombing. Zodiel nipping at his heels, just going to be about 30% shy. We'll see though if Lip can find a target this time around.
Trying now moving up over towards that sound barrier. Now at the stage where, okay, once again, start thinking about the tempos beat, and here it comes through. No hesitation this time for Crazy Raccoons. They need to get moving.
Started with his beat, and he's looking to end this fight with this beat. Pulls the trigger. Crook going to be eliminated. FD God now just 9% away from his own. Intercepting though, getting rid of that enemy Kiriko allows for Shu to try to just cycle up the next one, catch up alongside Crook.
Yeah, there's no way. Gaimin Gladiators just don't want to contest that one with the 4 players. To be fair, the meterage is still similar enough that, okay, Gaimin Gladiators can make a little bit of a comeback, 10 meters off, 11 meters off rather. And now FD God, he's got to be one to think about. There should be level 1 Crook first again. They have doubled up support ultimates. You typically always want to go the Kitsune Rush first. Now this time Crazy Raccoons don't really have much to play through. Chorong using tempo beat to get the cap worth, but they won't really have enough to survive against the double supports here.
Zodiel looking, poking, prodding there on that flank, going to be kept honest as Heesung forces him off the angle. They should know that he's got that pulse bomb in the back pocket. And he's overall been fairly accurate with them so far.
FD God
beat now going to be coming through, and yeah, FD God pulling the trigger there on that bead. Looking to go aggressive here as Lip falls low, but Shu has that good center rush to try to counteract, and Crook is holding on to his own, doesn't pop, and now Tread gets taken out of the mech, and Crook is going to be taken down, so that ult's going to have to be just be held for this entire time, but that allows for Chorong to maybe try to catch up, get that beat ready to counteract, as Heesung is just collecting so many eliminations, and now the lead can be stretched.
That just wasn't the time for Gaimin to go for a tempo beat because they had the Kachuna rush available. That should be their first port of call, and then you want to save the beat to counter Shu later on, which Shu just ended up waiting out the beat a little bit, a couple of seconds. Green HP is going down there. Shu's like, it's time to counterattack. We can use the Kachuna rush now, and level 1 Crook's under pressure. He had no time to respond, and Gaimin Gladiators lose a fight that I think they were ahead in.
Well, that one get away from them, and now up to 83 meters here are Crazy Raccoon. Still a long way to go to get towards the end of the map, so not likely going to be seeing a full push or anything to that effect, but Cine Rush now invested here from the side of Crook. Trong low, does get taken down. Tread able to find that kill, meaning that that beat cannot come through. But Crazy Raccoon, they might not be too bothered. They've already nearly doubled the distance here of Gaimin Gladiators. They have the forward spawns. All they really need to do is try to play the clock because there's less than 2.5 minutes remaining.
It's getting really difficult with Gaimin Gladiators now. They have to win a couple of fights in a row here. I mean, 2 minutes on this map. If I was going to be honest, I think this map is kind of hard to push through past the cap itself. So 83 is a really good amount of distance. And now Toronto's going to come through with the beat.
Eventually able to find that kill there on the Naga. The beat that just escort them further forward, and not even the forward spawns, rather. Lost here for Crazy Raccoon, still operating in such a fantastic spot. Max able to find Crook. He gets taken down. Max leading the charge. And then just continue to shove them back and open up even more space here for the spot.
Time is just so critical now for Gaimin Gladiators. I mean, they've had such loss of momentum. A critical fight where they, in my opinion, again, chose the wrong support ultimate to go first. That should have been a fight that they won. Had they won that, we still be very close in terms of meterage. About to be 100 meters here for Crazy Raccoons. With the amount of time remaining, I just don't know if Gaimin Gladiators can really make a comeback that's going to be worthwhile.
At this point, it would look like it's going to be fairly miraculous if they can. Kitsune Rush going to be opened up here from the side of Shu. Trent does have that self-destructive. He gets the mech, but Naga doesn't have anything to try to stay alive. Ends up getting taken down. Exodio with a recall. Will be able to stay in the fight for a little bit longer, but now doesn't have any exit strategy. Nowhere to go. Yeah. And Max will hound him down. Both DPS eliminated on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. This is just going to be a full pullback over here towards the spawn rooms. Bot continuing to push, now pushing up past 120 meters. Still a self-destruct to buy some space. It's going to be Kitsune Rush out first here from Crook to try to shove them back.
The timing is just so bad for Gaimin Gladiators because they couldn't defeat the Kitsune Rush. Neither of their own supports had any supportive ultimates available. They're starting to spend some ultimates now, but they have to spend them in their own spawn just to get control of the payload, reset the forward spawns, which hasn't happened yet. And then, with 50 seconds left to go, this is definitely going to go into the OT. Gaimin Gladiators essentially has to win every single fight from here on out, and they haven't even gone the first checkpoint yet, and there's still a butt scratch there as well.
Yep, bot now moving back, but forward spawns coming through, so everybody from Crazy Raccoon still here to try to contend for the fight. Sound barrier online from the side of FD God, but Chorong close to match now, just 7% away. Pulse Bomb going to be invested. FD God able to dodge on that one, drops the beat safely, and Chorong will fall, so Pulse Bomb, or rather Sound barrier, cannot come through here from the side of Crazy Raccoon, but Heesung still wants to extend this fight, still wants to lock them in place as he goes for the dupe here onto the Diva. Max is going to be losing out on his mech. Naga able to break that one down, finds the kill onto the Baby Diva, but HP bar still suffering a bit here on the side of Gaimin Gladiators. As Heesung will get broken out, pushed back over into the Echo form. The cleanup is going to be swift. It's going to be good. Gaimin Gladiators now have an opportunity to try to open things up a little bit more, but there's still about 80 meters that they have to cover as we enter into overtime.
That's probably actually a bad call from Heesung. You see that Max didn't want to go the self-destruct because they know they want to give up that fight. Chorong was dead anyway. If Heesung retains his ultimate, they are going to look at a large ultimate advantage going to the next fight. And once again, timing is critical here. Crazy Raccoon's double support ultimate is about to be online. Gaimin Gladiators only looking at level 1 Crook, and he doesn't have it.
Sound barrier now invested. Gonna have that Kitsune Rush on the back end here from Shu as well, but Lip is gonna be eliminated. FD got able to find that, but Naga now just D-Mech there on the dupe. Swiftly gets back in. Crook taken down. 1-for-1 exchange thus far as Chorong under fire. Needs to try to stay alive, and he cannot. Zodio able to pursue forward, finds that kill. FD God down to his sliver, trying to hang on there. The slow, steady healing coming through from the Lucio. Doesn't manage to sustain him. He's still alive and in this mix. Tread taken down, though, denied on the remake. The bot still locked in place to pass the butt scratch, but I don't think they're going to be able to go any further. Max going to be beamed out of his own mech, but Exodial now finished off. 3 players gone, just the supports left standing, and they cannot keep it contested. Crazy Raccoon pushed maybe the most here on this last map, a push, but they still managed to get the victory in 3-0 fashion.
I mean, the first 4 minutes were pretty competitive, back and forth, 55 to 44 in the meterage, but as soon as a couple of fights go the way of Crazy Raccoons in a row, then they have the momentum, then they have all the timings of the support ultimates, and from that point onwards, Gaimin Gladiators forever behind on the map. Push is all about momentum, and they had none of that, and Crazy Raccoons